It's a battle for the number 2 seed in the Skyline tournament as the red-hot Valiants of Manhattanville visit the Mount St. Mary Knights, looking to bounce back from a senior day loss. Welcome inside the Kaplan Center on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. I'm Matt Scalzo. I'm glad you could make me a part of your Wednesday night. We got a good one in store as sole possession of second place in the Skyline is on the line. And how important is second place, you may ask me? A win tonight and a win in the regular season finale would clinch a first-round bye in the Skyline tournament and home court advantage in the semifinals. Both Mount St. Mary and Manhattanville come in 14-4 in conference play, with the Valiants holding the tiebreaker after winning the first meeting on January 14th, 61-58, thanks to an Amanda Orlando buzzer beater 3. Manhattanville enters on a 6-game winning streak. The Valiants took care of Yeshiva for the second time in 4 days on Saturday, 61-26. And for her efforts last week, Gabby Tucker was named Skyline Co-Player of the Week. Head coach Kate Vlahakis and her stingy defense have held opponents to 41.2 points per game in the midst of this winning streak. Meanwhile, Mount St. Mary continues its grueling finish to the season, after having its 8-game win streak snapped on Saturday in the overtime loss to Merchant Marine. Head coach Marion Dietz describes this last week and a half as championship charge part 2. Part 1 came in January to the tune of back-to-back losses to Merchant Marine and this Manhattanville squad. The Knights will look to change the tune in part 2 as part 3, the Skyline tournament, looms next week. The Valiants look to make it 7 straight wins. I'll step aside for the national anthem. Tip-off is next from the Kaplan Center. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. Let's meet the starters for tonight's matchup. First from Manhattanville, Julie DeBrocchi joins Gabby Tucker and Esther Ramos at the guard position, with Kathleen O'Mara and Nyana Smith at the forwards. Kate Vlahakis is in her 13th season at the helm of Manhattanville, comes in at 196 and 106 overall. Her assistants are Alexa Potter and Chris the Goldice. The Valiants, as I said, they come in on a 6-game win streak, and in the midst of that winning streak, they have had an average margin of victory of 22.7 points per game. They've been holding opponents to just about 40 and scoring over 60 in that 6-game win streak. Let's meet the starters now for Mount St. Mary. A little bit of a change as the heartbeat and the soul of this team. Casey Love is out of tonight's contest. She is out with an illness, so there will be no number 5 in white. So a little change in the starting lineup. Maggie Trinkus returns to the lineup. The star freshman starts her 20th game of the season. Lauren Petrie comes back into the lineup. Kate Hughes makes her 3rd consecutive start. Angelina Donato returns for the first time in a little bit. And Brianna Guglielmo, who was on the Skyline weekly honor roll for this past week, rounds out the starting 5, coming off a career-high 22 points in the loss against U.S. Merchant Marine Academy on Saturday. Head coach Marion Dietz is in her 2nd season. Gary McLeod is her assistant. So we're getting set for tip-off here from the Kaplan Center. As I said, the last meeting was won by Manhattanville 61-58 on January 14th. All-time, Mount St. Mary leads this series 26-12. It is the 39th all-time meeting, and a 2nd overall seed in the Skyline tournament is on the line. Home court advantage in the semifinals, the much more important factor in that equation. Valiants have won the last 5 meetings between these two. The last win for Mount St. Mary came on January 7th of 2023, a 61-51 final. I haven't won at home against Manhattanville since February 24th in 2022. Mount St. Mary's 14-5 all-time at home against the Valiants. For Mount St. Mary, they're looking to get back into a winning streak. They had won 6 straight at home, 8 in a row overall prior to that loss against USMMA. Now they're trying to get back and continue on this push towards the playoffs. The officials tonight, Christopher Otterhout, Kirk Harbinger, and Michael Van Glelder. And we are underway from the Kaplan Center as the tip was won back by O'Mara, but controlled by Mount St. Mary. Knights scoring just below 70 points per game. Looking to get off to a hotter start than they did against USMMA, scoring just 7 points in that first quarter. Hughes, a step-back elbow jumper, comes up short, and then dribbled out of bounds by Gabby Tucker, who was named Co-Skyline Player of the Week after a strong performance in the last 3 games. So a second chance for the Knights. Guglielmo, good closeout by Nyana Smith. Nato travels before she's able to get the pass off. It was strong defense from the Valiants, and that is the heartbeat of this Valiants team, is through the defense. They hold opponents to just below 47 points per game. That's best in the Skyline, 4th best in the nation. And a travel is called against O'Mara. Nice setup on the shield by Smith, but O'Mara kept the feet moving before she took a dribble. And so Mount St. Mary gets possession back. When talking with Coach Dietz ahead of this game, she said, what I remember most about our last meeting against these Valiants was we got punched in the mouth. Not literally, but it felt like it. Fell behind by 10. Offense couldn't get into gear. Everybody was going past us. We have no reason to be afraid. That game proved that even despite that early deficit, they can hang with the best of the best in the Skyline. Smith couldn't get the scoop layup. Donato pushing the pace up ahead. Guglielmo 2-on-1. Trinkus had it blocked. Gets it back. Petrie in the short corner. Comes up short, and Smith brings in the rebound, slows things down, and puts Gabby Tucker at the controls. 12.7 points per game over the last 3 games, along with 3 steals and 5 rebounds per game in that stretch for number 5 in maroon. "18-footer is off the mark from Esther Ramos. And neither team able to take the cover off the lid. Guglielmo puts up the three. That's long. Trinkus, an offensive rebound. Guglielmo cutting into the lane. Count it. And the foul. And Brianna Guglielmo picks up right where she left off after 22 points against USMMA. Gets the scoring started in the Kaplan Center on this Wednesday evening. Guglielmo has scored over 15 points per game over the last 3 games. She's got 3 here. She's 18th in the Skyline in scoring, averaging just below 10 points per game. She's got the first 3. Tucker, the slip to Dabraki. She's fouled by Petrie. Tucker did a good job to get baseline and open up the Mount St. Mary defense, sending Dabraki to the line. A 95% free throw shooter on the season. She's pure on the first. She's 20 for 21 at the free throw line this season, so not a huge sample size, but she has done a phenomenal job on those trips. And there's just her second miss at the line this season. She had made 17 consecutive free throws prior to that, or 18 counting the first one as well, prior to the miss. Hughes goes into the paint. Good defense. Trinkus races in and forces a jump ball. It goes to the arrow, and possession will go in favor of Manhattanville, as Trinkus nearly had her 3rd offensive rebound. Nearly a giveaway from Dabraki. Ramos gets past Trinkus, and the finger roll goes in to tie it up at 3. Donato trying to push it ahead to Guglielmo. The save to Petrie. Unsettled in transition. Donato, the deep 3. Trinkus is all alone. She rattles it in. Her 3rd offensive rebound in this first quarter. That last one, that might have been the easiest of the bunch. Nobody picked her up at that low block. Smith cutting baseline, gets called for a travel. Late help side defense came in, forcing Smith to be a little off balance, and creates that turnover. That's going to be one of the big keys for this Mount St. Mary team, is forcing those turnovers. Forced 24, yielded just 18 in the prior loss against Manhattanville. Hughes, the runner, drops in. And the Knights getting off to a quick start, already equaling their first quarter total from Saturday in the first 4 minutes of this contest. Smith working against Hughes. The skip is intercepted by Donato. And with a head of steam, Donato charging in, drops it to Guglielmo, adjusts in midair, and makes the 6-point lead for the Knights, prompting a 30-second timeout from Kate Vlahakis and Manhattanville. And what a change this has been for Mount St. Mary in the first quarter, somewhere that they have struggled, especially in the big games. In their 4 Skyline losses, they've been outscored by 26 points in the first quarter. And they've lost by a total of 15 points in those contests, 3 of them by 3 points, including earlier this year against Manhattanville. For the coaches, Vlahakis, as I mentioned, in her 13th season, including this year, she has had 7 consecutive winning seasons, 8 of the last 9, and has advanced to the Skyline Finals in back-to-back seasons. Over the last 5 years since joining the Skyline, she is 102-25 overall. Tucker trying to race coast to coast and get a quick bucket, but comes up short. Donato finds an open Trinkus in the corner for a long 2. She's got it, and it's up to an 8-point lead for the Knights as Trinkus gets up to 4 points to go along with her 3 rebounds in this first quarter. Foul is called on the floor, reaching against Guglielmo. And continuing on Vlahakis, she has had back-to-back 20-win seasons and 3 in the last 4. Had 19 wins in 22-23. She's currently sitting at 17 this year, 17-5 overall are the Valiants. A chance to get another 20-win season if it's a hot finish for Manhattanville. They need to get into gear in this first quarter. And another travel is called as Amanda Orlando, who had the buzzer beater 3 in the first meeting, gets called for a travel. And so another turnover against this Valiants team. That is their 5th in this first quarter. Something that Mount St. Mary does a phenomenal job of doing. Quinn, deep 3 on the way. Too strong, tapped out by Donato, but nobody's there on the other end for Mount St. Mary. And Manhattanville looks to get its offense into gear. 4th best scoring offense in the Skyline. Looking to go inside against Smith. Kick out is bobbled by O'Mara, goes past Trinkus. Good help side defense from Quinn. But a possession could not be secured by the Knights. 9 seconds on the shot clock for Manhattanville. Dabraki will trigger the inbound. Orlando works against Trinkus. Was dispossessed momentarily by Trinkus. Last one out of bounds off of the 5'10" freshman. And so there'll be 2 seconds on the shot clock for the Valiants. Dabraki gets a screen, puts up the 3. Won't go. Guglielmo had the rebound and then had it ripped away by Tucker, who cuts inside and gets a much-needed basket. Guglielmo just took her eye off the ball. Didn't know Tucker was right there. And the fleet-footed junior guard said, I'll take that, and gets a much-needed point for Manhattanville. Donato in trouble, stays with it, and creeps it over the rim to push that lead back up to 8. Dabraki goes back door and finishes over the helping Quinn. Back-to-back baskets for Manhattanville. Donato attacks, goes right at Tucker and draws a foul, and Gabby Tucker is down under the basket. The athletic training group here at Mount St. Mary will go take a look at Tucker, who's down holding her ankle. I'll cause an abbreviated timeout, and so we'll step aside as well here on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. Back at the Kaplan Center, Gabby Tucker helped off the floor, not able to put any weight on her right ankle. We'll monitor her as she goes along. Donato's first free throw bounced out. 60% free throw shooter on the season is Donato. Misses both. A rebound for Smith. Sarah Cashin has come in for the Knights in place of Trinkus as Ramos accelerated towards the rim and couldn't finish in close. Quinn and Cashin combining to disrupt the shot. Some changes for Manhattanville. Cassia Sandoval has come in. She's guarding Quinn. Cross-court skip over to Cashin. The corner jumper is a little strong. Ends in the hands of Nyana Smith. And now running the offense at point guard is Caitlin Mangan, a freshman out of New Fairfield, Connecticut. Ramos back out there as well. Smith's pass just a little high for Orlando. Another turnover for the Valiants. Guglielmo, the cross-court skip, picked off by Mangan. She's got numbers, 3-on-2. Dish off to Sandoval. Won't go. Orlando, the offensive rebound. Tough time finishing, and Cashin has the rebound. Controls on her pivot foot. And Donato will spring it up ahead. Guglielmo, open three in transition, off the mark. And possession stays with Mount St. Mary. Lizzie LaFaro will come in. She replaces Brianna Guglielmo. Sandoval and Ramos head to the bench for Manhattanville. O'Mara and Dabraki back in. LaFaro, quick trigger three, comes up short. O'Mara had the rebound, and here comes Mangan in transition. Orlando steps in, and a nice finish off bounds. Able to scoop it underneath Donato. And brings the lead down to 4 as we're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Cashin, the skip to Petrie, puts up the corner three and puts it in. First triple of the night for either side, and that's Lauren Petrie extending that lead up to 7. A huge basket for Mount St. Mary that had been held scoreless over the last 2 minutes. Smith spins against Quinn. She's fouled. Sierra Quinn gets charged with the foul, sending Nyana Smith to the line, a 64% free throw shooter on the season. She makes the first and brings it down to a 6-point deficit. Smith averaging 6.6 rebounds per game and 2 blocks. That leads the Skyline. Splits the 2, tapped up, and LaFaro controls as the shot clock goes dark. LaFaro attacks with 5, and a push is called against O'Mara. Mount St. Mary will have an inbound with 3.7 seconds. LaFaro has the inbound. Lobs it up top to Quinn. Trying to flip it inside to Cashin, has it taken away by Smith. And she tried to get it up ahead to Dabraki to get that shot away. Comes up empty-handed, and the first quarter comes to a close. Mount St. Mary got off to the hot start that they wanted. They hold a 16-10 lead at the end of the first quarter here on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. Second quarter coming up after this. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 16-10, the lead for Mount St. Mary through the first 10 minutes. Matt Scalzo, glad you could make me a part of your Wednesday night. A error on the scoreboard. No shot clock had gone up, so a brief whistle, and we're back underway. As I talked about in that first quarter, Mount St. Mary has gotten off to slow starts in these big games. Negative 26 in the first quarter when going in their 4 losses in Skyline play. 2 to Merchant Marine, 1 to this Manhattanville squad, and the other to St. Joseph's Long Island. Well, they've turned it around. They're +6 through the first quarter. Donato looking for help. Has to fire it up top to Petrie, and Mangan takes it away, and a foul is called against Lauren Petrie as Mangan was all alone with a head of steam. And during that timeout between the first and second quarter, Coach Kate Vlahakis was yelling at our team, saying there's no leadership on the court right now. Trying to see if that can kickstart her team, and an offensive foul is called, an illegal screen against Nyana Smith. Flips possession back to the Knights, and we're seeing that press come out for Manhattanville. Something that caused problems for Mount St. Mary in the first meeting. Coach Dietz, when talking with her ahead of this contest, said this is a scrappy Manhattanville team, and their pressure just rattled us in that first quarter. Felt nervous. Wasn't sure why. Said we don't have a reason to feel nervous. We're one of the best in the Skyline, as LaFaro fades and comes up short. Thought she was fouled, didn't get the call. Ramos eyes up a 3. It's off to the right. LaFaro brings in the rebound and charges into the front court. She had sliced down the lane, and the foul is called on the floor going against Esther Ramos. That's her first. And Amanda Orlando will come in. Brianna Guglielmo returns as well as Lizzie LaFaro checks out. Maggie Trinkus also returns to the floor. Petrie's got an open look from deep off the screen and cashes in. Second triple for Lauren Petrie, the largest lead thus far at 9 points for Mount St. Mary. And another offensive foul. That goes against Smith, and that is her 3rd personal foul. Cassia Sandoval checks in for the first time tonight. And Smith having 3 fouls is a major problem for Coach Kate Vlahakis and her team. 6'4" senior forward out of Baltimore, Maryland. Controls the paint for this Manhattanville team. So their top ball handler and Tucker out with an injury. Was helped off the floor, wasn't able to put any weight on her right ankle, and now their top forward in some foul trouble. Where do they go to for some help? Orlando can't hit the 3. A rebound to Trinkus, and Donato comes across half court. Trying to find it backdoor to Petrie. Unforced error, was a bad pass, and now in transition, Donato denies O'Mara. Avenging her miscue on the offensive end. Donato says, not in my house, to O'Mara, going baseline. Mangan off the inbound. Loose ball. O'Mara picks it up, went through the hands of Petrie, and it settles with 14 seconds on the shot clock for Manhattanville. Mangan with 5. Sandoval, triple teamed. Jump ball. Possession would stay with Manhattanville, and they'll put 1 second on the shot clock. So there was a jump ball before the shot clock had gone off. So a chance for a quick hitter for Manhattanville. This could really swing momentum if they're able to get a bucket. Dabraki off some screens, comes up short. Guglielmo controls the rebound. Double team, gets it off to Hughes and up ahead to Donato. 3-on-2. And Sandoval deflects the pass out of bounds. She was looking for Trinkus in the corner. Guglielmo finds Donato. And with 20 seconds to shoot, Donato puts up a deep 3. Hughes, an offensive rebound, and Hughes puts it back up and in. An 11-point advantage for the Knights in the first half. Sandoval puts up the 3. That's off the front rim. Trinkus, another rebound. That's her 5th. Here comes Donato, who's been running the point guard position well. Charging down the lane, draws a foul. Foul will be called against Cassius Sandoval, her first. Donato gets the roll on the first free throw. She went 0 for 2 on her first trip at the line. She makes both to make it a 13-point lead. A 30-second timeout will be taken by head coach Marion Dietz and Mount St. Mary with 6:05 left to go in the second quarter. We'll keep it right here as we dive further into this matchup between these two teams. Sole possession of second place is on the line, which is a bye into the semifinals, and in that semifinals game, it's home court advantage for the top 2 seeds in the Skyline tournament. Mount St. Mary looking to avenge their loss earlier this season against Manhattanville. They've done it once thus far in their Skyline losses. Took down St. Joseph's Long Island in overtime in this building after falling to the Golden Eagles on the road. Was on the verge of doing it against Merchant Marine on Saturday. Led 56-51 in the fourth quarter and held a 3-point lead with under 5 minutes to go. Had a chance at the buzzer to win it, but eventually fell in overtime to the streaking Mariners, who have yet to lose in Skyline play. Sandoval, the lefty scoop. Big basket from Sandoval, who's come off the bench because Nyana Smith is sitting out with 3 fouls in this first half. 2 of them have been on the offensive end. Guglielmo in trouble, finds Donato, drops it off to Petrie with 10. Hughes down to Trinkus, and Trinkus traveled. Pass was a little bit out of her reach. He couldn't get under control before getting charged with the travel. Ramos down the lane, draws a foul against Hughes. That's the first against Kate Hughes, second in this quarter against Mount St. Mary. There are 4 against Manhattanville. The next foul for the Valiants would send the Knights to the line. And Guglielmo jumps the lane on the pass to Orlando. Flings it back to Donato. Settles with Petrie. Another three. It's good again. Lauren Petrie 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. She's got 9 points in the first half. That's a 14-point Knights advantage. Dabrowski steps inside the arc. It's an air ball. Last touched out of bounds by Manhattanville. "14 points, the lead for the Knights. They have stifled this Manhattanville offense. And a foul is called on O'Mara, reaching over the top on Donato. That's the 5th foul in this quarter against Manhattanville. 2 shots now for Donato. That is off the mark from Donato. 2 for 4 so far now, 2 for 5 at the line in the first half. Splits the pair, gets up to 15 points. Donato has been held in check over the last 3 games. There's 4 total points, 2 for 14 from the floor, and had a brutal game against Merchant Marine, going 0 for 5 in the loss, but made an impact in other ways with 4 assists. And she's looking to get her offense back into gear, getting the nod in the starting lineup today. Had averaged over 10 points per game in the prior 3 games. Trinkus, the elbow jumper is good. And Mount St. Mary starting to flex its muscles offensively in the first half. Ramos, the skip to Sandoval. Comes up short, long rebound. Trinkus had it, lost it, and here comes O'Mara. And O'Mara travels. Pair of substitutions for Manhattanville. O'Mara and Sandoval will take a seat as Orlando and Madison Carlo return to the floor. Guglielmo was open. Hughes couldn't find her. Hughes drives down the right side, blocked out of bounds by Carlo. Second block for Manhattanville. They lead the Skyline with over 4 blocks per game as a team. The lob inside. Hughes with open position. Lays it up and in. And the Knights continue on this run. 8-0 run over the last 3 minutes. 18-3 run over the last 8 minutes of game time. Stretching the lead up to a 19-point advantage. Good closeout by Donato. 10 to shoot. Orlando up with the left. Strong defense from Guglielmo. Now she's running the floor. Puts it down to Petrie. Lets Carlo fly by, and Petrie has 11 points in this first half. Had 8 in the loss against USMMA and makes it 9 straight with 7 or more points. She's averaged over 10 points per game over the last 6 games, and the X factor of this Mount St. Mary team showing up in a big way in the first half, and the biggest game of the year thus far for the Knights. 5 to shoot. Orlando. Ramos has to put it up with 2. Rattles in and out. Donato collides with Orlando, picks up the ball. 2-on-1. Petrie will take it herself, and Lauren Petrie is feeling right at home inside the Kaplan Center. 13 points, 5 for 6 from the floor. And it's a 23-point lead for the Knights. The whistle was blown because Orlando was down behind the play. Her and Donato went crashing into each other for the rebound. Nothing malicious behind that play. Incidental contact and unfortunate for Manhattanville. One of their fastest players was down behind on the other end. And that pass is thrown away into the hands of Guglielmo. Looking to go coast to coast, up with the left, off the mark, and Dabraki brings it in. Here comes Mangan, 3-on-2 rather. Takes it herself, comes up short. Donato with a strong box out on Ramos. Corrals the rebound. Under 2 minutes, nearing the final minute in this first half, Mount St. Mary has taken, well, can't really say taken this game by the horns as that's thrown out of bounds by Petrie. But essentially they have. Coach Dietz, when talking with me, said that they got punched in the mouth in that first quarter against Manhattanville back on January 14th. Well, they've flipped the script. The Knights have thrown the first punch and have kept throwing punches in this first half, dominating Manhattanville. Donato. Wow. The hoop and the harm. Everything going the way of the Knights. And Donato continues her big first half, has yet to step off the floor in these first two quarters. She's got 7 points in the absence of Casey Love. Doesn't get the roll. Second time that's happened to her at the line this evening, as Manhattanville just looks to find anything offensively. Orlando, good ball movement, leads to an open look for Dabraki. Wouldn't drop in. Offensive rebound for Ramos, fresh 20. Got a 6-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ramos working against Quinn, gets it to fall in the paint. First basket in over 5 minutes for Manhattanville. Shot clock is dark. Donato attacks with 4. Kicks it out to Quinn. Inside Trinkus, up before the horn. Got it, and the foul. I was up here in my own head thinking 5 seconds. They're waiting a little long to trigger this play. Trinkus was, they called a foul. That, I believe, came before the buzzer, and then the shot went in after the buzzer, so it'll just be an untimed free throw from Maggie Trinkus. She puts it in, and it is a dominant first half from Mount St. Mary, 40-14. I must have heard what I said about being minus 26 in the first quarter in their big games this season. Well, they are plus 26 through the first 2 quarters with a 40-14 lead, powered by 13 points from Lauren Petrie, 9 points and 8 rebounds from Maggie Trinkus in the first half. They have held this Manhattanville offense in check. They are just 6 for 27 from the floor, and they have forced 12 Manhattanville turnovers. They've controlled the glass as well, 24-15. They're winning all the battles that they needed to be winning, and they are winning the biggest one of them all on the scoreboard. A 26-point lead for the Knights. They'll look to refocus and recharge and take that 2 seed by the horns as they look to close this one out and close out the home slate in the regular season. We'll be back after this from the Kaplan Center. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. Through 20 minutes, it's a 40-14 lead for Mount St. Mary over Manhattanville for a battle for the second overall seed in the Skyline tournament next week. Sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. But as I said, through 20 minutes, it's a 40-14 lead for Mount St. Mary over Manhattanville. Winner of this one moves into sole possession of second place in the Skyline, and importantly, the second overall seed if they're able to win in the regular season finales. Both these two teams have relatively easier games to finish out the season. Old Westbury for Manhattanville and Mount St. Vincent for Mount St. Mary. Just got word that the scoreboard on our stream isn't popping up, so I will default to my radio tendencies and I will give you the score after each basket. And as I've said, it's a 40-14 lead for Mount St. Mary. Sorry, I had to step aside for a quick moment there, but if you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you can make me a part of your Wednesday night. Coming into tonight, I wrote down some keys to the game for both sides. For Mount St. Mary is for a fast start because they're minus 26 in the first quarter in their 4 Skyline losses. Win the turnover battle and finish strong. Well, you can put a check mark next to those two. They led 16-10 after the first quarter and then outscored Manhattanville 24-4 in that second frame. As for the Valiants, you got to have turnovers into transition opportunities into baskets. Well, Manhattanville has had just 2 points off of turnovers. They have forced 11 for Mount St. Mary, but they haven't been able to transition those into baskets. Keep the rebounding battle close. This is a very strong rebounding Mount St. Mary team. They're third in terms of rebounds per game in the Skyline, have the second best margin, and they're 20th nationally in the rebounding category. Well, right now in the first meeting, Manhattanville actually held a 35-34 edge when that went final. Tonight it's a 24-15 lead for Mount St. Mary through the first half. And keep Gabby Tucker hot. She was named Co-Skyline Player of the Week for her performances last week across 3 games, averaging over 12 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. She did it all in a 3-0 week for Manhattanville. She's out of this game. Left with an ankle injury. Wasn't able to put any weight on her right ankle. Not sure if she will be able to return. I don't see her on the bench currently. Another key factor in why that half got away from the Valiant so quickly, Nyana Smith picked up 3 fouls by the beginning of the second quarter, had to sit on the bench. You can't risk one of your big players going out with 4 fouls with 20 minutes left to go. Meanwhile, for Mount St. Mary, Lauren Petrie, she has been red hot. 13 points, 5 for 6 from the floor, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. Her season high this year is 14 points. Her career high is 15. She's just 2 points off that. Maggie Trinkus behind her, 9 points, 8 rebounds. Looking for her second career double-double. Had one against Old Westbury on December 7th. But the star freshman has been producing in a big way. We are back underway. Starters out there for both sides. Of course, no Gabby Tucker, so Caitlin Mangan takes her spot on Manhattanville's side. Hughes, a pump fake and a kick. Trinkus got it. Maggie Trinkus picks up right where she left off. Into double figures with 11 points now. And in this third quarter now, Coach Dietz ramping up the defensive pressure, something that she said she did in the first meeting between these two when they started bringing out that press in the third quarter, really started to shift some momentum. Well, they're looking to finish strong and give me 3 check marks on the keys of the game in this second half. Mangan off bounds, couldn't finish. Ramos brings in an offensive rebound with a fresh 20. Dabraki, straightaway 3. Off the mark, and Petrie brings in a rebound. She's double teamed, looking for help. Finds Hughes. Mount St. Mary staying patient, not getting too flustered from the ramped up pressure. Guglielmo, the kick. Petrie, another three. Bullseye. That's a new career high for Lauren Petrie as she's 4 for 4 from deep, 6 for 7 from the floor, and she's got 16 points. And the high-flying Knights have kept things going into the second half as O'Mara gets the first bucket in quite some time for Manhattanville. They scored with 15 seconds left in the half in the second quarter, but prior to that, they had been scoreless for over 5 minutes. Petrie loses the handle, and then Donato couldn't control the bouncing ball. Possession will go in favor of the Valiants as O'Mara checks out and Amanda Orlando comes back in. As without their star point guard, the Valiants have to look elsewhere for their scoring. Nyana Smith goes up with the right hand. And a smooth finish from Nyana Smith working against Kate Hughes. Gets a much-needed basket, and you can see how important Smith is in the middle for Manhattanville. And they just got to chip away at this lead. Get some stops, which have been tough to come by. Hughes had inside position and uses the window. Wasn't sure if Donato was looking for Trinkus or for Hughes, but either way, both of them were open. Ends in a basket for Mount St. Mary. Smith, she was open. Boxing out against Petrie, and Smith has back-to-back buckets. She gets up to 5 points. Donato to Trinkus with the corner three. Off the mark. Petrie brings in the rebound. She was fouled. Tripped up by Esther Ramos. And with 20 seconds to shoot, it's back into Mount St. Mary in the half court. Hughes, the nice slip to the cutting Guglielmo, couldn't finish. That's what Brianna Guglielmo did so well in the loss against USMMA, but there she jumps in front of the pass, takes it away, slows it down. That pass was tipped by Orlando, so no over and back violation against Mount St. Mary. Now 20 seconds, it's back across half court into the hands of Angelina Donato. Guglielmo had 6 steals in the loss against USMMA. She's got 3 in this one already. Dabraki, the corner three, rattles it in, and a big basket to get things going. First 3 of the night for Manhattanville. They were 0 for 10 prior to that point as Donato charges inside, knocked out of bounds off the hand of Dabraki. And so a timeout taken by Coach Marion Dietz at the halfway point of this third quarter. It will be a full timeout as Manhattanville has started to get things going. A quick 5-0 run brings the lead down to 47-23 with 5:21 left to go in the third quarter. Apologies, I forgot to mention the score. As we're dealing with that scoreboard malfunction. That's on me. But we'll take a quick break as these two sides take a full timeout inside the Kaplan Center. Back after this. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 5:21 to go in the third. It's a 47-23 lead for Mount St. Mary over Manhattanville. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could make me a part of your Wednesday evening. The Knights held a big lead at the end of the first 20 minutes, 40-14 rather. And now they look to get things going. A foul on the floor as Brianna Guglielmo and Amanda Orlando getting into it in the paint. Orlando gets called with the hold. That's her second. And the team's second as well. Guglielmo into the lane, working against Orlando. Good defense. And then Guglielmo gets called for a reach-in. Second against Guglielmo, first against Mount St. Mary in this third quarter. 5:11 left to go. Ramos will take the 18-footer. Rolls off the rim, and Guglielmo skies in for the rebound. Trinkus down low. Donato drives. Kick out. Petrie, another three. First miss from beyond the arc for Lauren Petrie. She was 4 for 4 prior to that point. There's Smith running the floor. And one for Nyana Smith. Finishes through the contact from Kate Hughes. And the run continues for Manhattanville. A 7-0 run, sending Smith to the line, looking to make it an 8-0 run as Sierra Quinn comes in for Kate Hughes. Lizzie LaFaro will also check in. She takes out Angelina Donato. Still haven't seen Aaron LaFaro or Shannon Phelan. Smith to complete the three-point play, and she does. Goes 2 for 3 at the line so far tonight. That's a 47-26 Mount St. Mary lead. With just under 5 minutes to go, LaFaro in trouble. Double-teamed. Gets called for an offensive foul. Pushed her elbow up high and caught Mangan in the face. And so now that pressure that we've seen from Manhattanville throughout the season and that caused problems for Mount St. Mary earlier this year, starting to ramp up. Guglielmo is looking for another steal. Trinkus picks up a foul. Gets called for a block, and that's the 4th team foul against Mount St. Mary in this third quarter. First against Maggie Trinkus. Ramos splits by. Quinn came in for help. Disrupted the shot, has the rebound, and here comes LaFaro. LaFaro inside, the kick to Petrie with the open lane, and Lizzie LaFaro creating offense from Mount St. Mary. The drive and kick worked perfectly. Orlando splitting through some double teams, and she picks up a hard foul going against LaFaro. Donato will come back in. She takes out Lizzie LaFaro after her second foul. And so Orlando goes to the line for a 1-and-1 as that's the 5th team foul against Mount St. Mary. Orlando makes the first, a 55% free throw shooter on the season for Orlando, who's averaging 7 points per game over the last 5 games. Makes both and brings it down to a 21-point lead, 49-28, 3:22 left to go in the third quarter. Guglielmo cuts to the block. Trinkus at the free throw line, gets the roll. And it's up to a 51-28 lead for Mount St. Mary with 3 minutes left to go in the third. Trinkus has 13 points. Smith drops it off to Orlando. Ramos from the corner. Smith spins against Quinn, but gets called for a travel. A big turnover there as Nyana Smith had created some space splitting through the double team of Trinkus and Quinn. Instead, it is the 14th turnover for Manhattanville. Quinn with 8, finds Trinkus. A cutting Donato right before the buzzer, puts it in. Trinkus with a nice find, cutting Angelina Donato. Makes it a 53-28 lead for Mount St. Mary. Something ended up on the court, caused a quick stoppage with 2:11 left to go in the third quarter. Maggie Trinkus has done it all today. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Same goes for Brianna Guglielmo and Angelina Donato. Losing the handle was DeBrocchi. Fortunately came back to the Valiants. O'Mara kicks it out to Smith. Has to put it up with 3. Off the mark. O'Mara brings in an offensive rebound, fresh 20 for the Valiants. Orlando drives and finishes over Trinkus. (53-30), Mount St. Mary in front. 1:12 left to go. 20 on the shot clock for the Knights. Guglielmo gets open from the wing for 3. Loose ball. Petrie brings in an offensive rebound. Donato trapped in the corner, looking for help, and she travels. 52.2 seconds remaining in this third quarter. 53-30, the lead for Mount St. Mary. As Orlando and DeBrocchi come out, Ramos and Carlo come back on. Ramos charging down the lane, draws a foul against Quinn. Second foul against Sierra Quinn as Esther Ramos heads to the line. 4 points, 2 for 8 shooting for Ramos today. And Angelina Donato's brace has come undone a little bit. So Lizzie LaFaro will check in place of her. Ramos at the line. Makes the first Ramo a 66% shooter at the line this season. I struggled a little as of late. Makes both. Gets up to 6 points. She has one double-figure game in the last 4. Had 11 in the first 18 games of this season. Quinn puts up the corner 3. Petrie, another offensive rebound, trapped in the corner, finds LaFaro. Around the horn to Guglielmo. Kick out Quinn. Thought about the straightaway 3, opts to hand it off to LaFaro, and she's fouled by Mangan, which resets the shot clock to 20 and makes it dark with 14.4 seconds to go in this third quarter. LaFaro will trigger the inbound to Trinkus. We saw a buzzer beater by Maggie Trinkus to end the first half. What do they have in store to end the third quarter? They go to a horn set. LaFaro down the lane, the floater. Trinkus, offensive rebound, had it blocked. Loose ball, won't be put back up, and the third quarter comes to a close. A much stronger 10 minutes from Manhattanville. They bring the deficit down to 21. It's a 53-32 lead for Mount St. Mary heading into the final 10 minutes. Manhattanville outscored Mount St. Mary 18-13 in that third quarter. We'll head to a break, and when we come back, the fourth quarter coming up. The 2 seed is on the line in the Skyline. Manhattanville and Mount St. Mary looking for a strong push to end this one and secure that 2 seed when we come back on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. Fourth quarter coming up from the Kaplan Center, 53-32, the lead for Mount St. Mary with 10 minutes to go. If you're just joining me, Matt Scalzo, glad you could make me a part of your Wednesday evening. And thanks for joining me on the Mount St. Mary Sports Network. 10 minutes away from the 2 seed being decided and going in favor of Mount St. Mary if the Knights are able to hold on to this lead and finish strong against a Manhattanville team that got things going offensively in the third quarter. And the fourth does not start with that same momentum. A travel against Kathleen O'Mara. Again, the 2 seed, or the finishing second, I should say, in the regular season of the Skyline, as there's an offensive foul against Lizzie LaFaro. Tried to rip through against Mangan with the close defense. And referees coming together. Donato will come in for LaFaro, picks up her 3rd foul. So 2 turnovers in the first 17 seconds of the fourth quarter. And the Valiants will have the ball set up under the basket with 30 seconds on the shot clock. Ramos, the 15-footer, is pure. Brings the deficit down to 19 as Lauren Petrie will bring across half court. Manhattanville has gotten things going. They've held Mount St. Mary scoreless over the last 2 minutes of game time, and a foul is called against Kathleen O'Mara. And the largest lead at one point in this game was 31 points, 45-14 in favor of Mount St. Mary. It's been a 20-9 run for Manhattanville since the 8:32 mark in the third quarter. So bring this down to a 19-point game. Donato off the dribble and draws a foul as Carlo converged on her as Donato was able to get past O'Mara. That will send Donato to the line for 2 shots. She's 3 for 7 at the line today as Dabraki will come in place of Carlo. Donato makes the first. Manhattanville without their star point guard Gabby Tucker, who has averaged over 12 points per game over the last 3 games, was co-Skyline Player of the Week for last week as Donato goes 2 for 2. She's on the bench, but she has crutches by her seat, cheering her team on, and has that right ankle elevated on the benches. 8:53 to go in the third quarter, 55-34. Lead for Mount St. Mary. Dabraki, the deep 3, off the mark. Guglielmo had the rebound tipped out of her hands. Mangan steps inside the arc. That won't go, and Guglielmo again brings in the board, and this time muscles it away from any Manhattanville player. As Esther Ramos trying to deny Angelina Donato from running this Mount St. Mary offense. The Knights are without Casey Love, who was out with an illness tonight. Donato has stepped up brilliantly. That high arching ball over to Quinn. Trinkus, what a move inside. Can't finish. Ramos spins against Trinkus, puts it up with the right, rolls around and drops in. And Ramos gets into double figures for the second time in the last 5 games. She's got 10. Guglielmo gets it over to Trinkus. Quinn, the backdoor feed to Petrie. Good help side defense from Dabraki, and Mangan forced that away. O'Mara had it taken away as Guglielmo and Donato crashed back, and O'Mara picks up a foul. That is her 4th. She'll have to come out as Amanda Orlando comes in. 3rd team foul already against Manhattanville with 7:21 to go in the 4th. It is a 55-36 lead for Mount St. Mary. Orlando forcing pressure, and a timeout taken by Mount St. Mary with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Would have been 2 seconds away from a shot clock, or a 10-second violation, rather. So Mount St. Mary looking to find a way to solve this pressure from Manhattanville. Again, 7:12 to go in the 4th, a 55-36 lead for Mount St. Mary, whose offense has been stifled in this first half. They shot 14 of 29 in the first half from the field. They're 16 of 30, rather, from the field in the first half. And in the second half, they are just 6 for 18. So there's been some struggles, but they still hold a sizable margin. Trinkus in trouble. Goes all the way to the baseline, and Maggie Trinkus does it all herself. Says, you can put all the pressure you want on me. I'm going to make you pay. And Maggie Trinkus gets up to 15 points. She's got 9 rebounds and 4 assists as well. She's done a strong job working against Nyana Smith defensively as well. Ramos got open on the back door. Hughes able to swipe it out of bounds. With 8 seconds on the shot clock for Manhattanville. Mangan open, cutting, misses the layup. Trinkus the rebound, gives it off to Angelina Donato. Donato kick out Guglielmo. Drives inside, Guglielmo, no, offensive rebound, Kate Hughes with the finish. A big couple of baskets for Mount St. Mary to swing momentum back in their favor, push that lead back up above 20. It's a 59-36 advantage. Ramos will put up the 3 and puts it in. Trinkus was giving her the space, and Ramos makes her pay. She was 0 for 2 from 3 prior to that. And Esther Ramos has found her stroke from beyond the arc and from the floor in this second half. She's got 13 points. That leads the way for Manhattanville. Guglielmo's got 10 to shoot. Gets it off to Hughes with 7. Hughes fired it inside, rejected back out to Donato. Trinkus puts it up with the left, off the mark. Poked out of bounds by Guglielmo with 5:25 to go in the fourth. 59-39, the advantage for Mount St. Mary. Madison Carlo comes back in, replaces Julie DeBrocchi. Carlo off the screen from deep, won't go. Orlando had an offensive rebound and then went out of her hands. Possession flips back to the Knights with 5:09 to go in the fourth. Guglielmo will come across half court. Gets inside against Smith. Guglielmo through contact. And one upcoming. That is the fourth against Nyana Smith. And so that's 2 forwards for Manhattanville with 4 fouls. Smith will come out as Sandoval will come back in. This is when Mount St. Mary was able to make its push, extending that lead when Smith was out of the game. They were able to control the middle of the floor. Guglielmo misses, and a foul is called against Kate Hughes with the hold against Orlando. 3rd foul against Hughes, 2nd against Mount St. Mary, 4 against Manhattanville, so the next will send the Knights to the line for 1-1. It's a 61-39 lead, under 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Donato does a good job reaching in. Jump ball, possession will go the way of the Knights on the arrow. And what Mount St. Mary's done a good job of is helping when defensively. Guglielmo does a good job jumping the lane on passes. Sometimes it's just a millisecond late. And Donato, reading that backdoor cut, was able to get in front of the passing lane, give possession back to Mount St. Mary. And Maggie Trinkus, who has been out there for a long time tonight, this has been the 5 that has been out there the most for Mount St. Mary. Petrie's had a hot night, misses from deep, and Ramos skies in for the board. Mangan pushing it up ahead. Sandoval behind the defense, misses the reverse layup. (61-39) the lead for Mount St. Mary. Donato wide open. Trinkus, good. 63-39. Mount St. Mary in front with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They can taste that number 2 seed as Ramos puts up the 3, and she makes it. Second triple of this fourth quarter for Esther Ramos. She's got 16 points. 63-42, 3:40 remaining in regulation. Trinkus finds a cutting Donato, and she was fouled by Carlo with 3:33 to go in the fourth. DeBrocchi heads to the scorer's table. 2 shots for Donato. That's also the 5th team foul against Manhattanville, so any foul the rest of the way sends the Knights to the line. And as Carlo comes out after her 3rd personal foul. Donato makes the first. 6 for 10 at the line today for Angelina Donato. She's up to 12 points. She gets to 13, and she's now 7 for 11 at the free throw line today. She's made her last 4 from the stripe. She's got 7 assists, which is 1 off her career high, along with 3 steals and a block. And she's only come off the floor for brief moments at a time. Got the start because Casey Love is out tonight with an illness. And Angelina Donato has taken advantage of every opportunity after what's been a tough 3-game stretch for her, just putting up 4 total points over the last 3 games. Has returned to form. Sandoval, the runner down the lane, too strong off the backboard. Donato up ahead. There's Trinkus behind the defense, and Maggie Trinkus ties her career high with 20 points. Rather, she gets up to 19. I jumped the gun just a little bit, but for Donato, she ties her career high with 8 assists. This has been a strong all-around effort for Mount St. Mary. They're up by 25, 67-42, 2:35 left to go in the fourth. Mangan down the lane is fouled by Trinkus with 2:33 left. That's just the second foul against Trinkus, 3rd on the team in this 4th quarter. Mangan makes the first. Mangan's been thrusted into the spotlight today because of the injury to Gabby Tucker. Mangan goes 2 for 2 and gets her first 2 points of the day. She was 0 for 6 from the floor and 0 for 2 from 3 so far. And has just averaged over 12 points per game because of the presence of Gabby Tucker, who averages over 33 minutes per game. So her absence has been detrimental to this entire team and can have a major shakeup on this team's performance in the postseason. Trinkus does a good job disrupting that layup. And then O'Mara goes to the floor against Petrie, tied up for a jump ball. Possession will stay with Manhattanville. Sierra Quinn will replace Maggie Trinkus with 2:08 left to go, 67-44. Mount St. Mary in front. Trinkus heads to the bench with a team-high 19 points. She's got her second career double-double with 10 rebounds. O'Mara, jab, misses the jump shot. And Donato will slow things down as we move under 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. A 23-point lead for Mount St. Mary. Guglielmo, the drop pass to a wide-open Kate Hughes. Maybe they won't slow down too much. They're going to make it that easy for Kate Hughes. She's going to take advantage. Hughes has 12 points. That ties a season high. And as this season has gone along, especially late in the year, the veteran presence of the graduate student in Hughes has been so big for Mount St. Mary. Missed all of last season with an ACL injury and has come into her own over the last 7 games. Her 3rd straight start. She's averaged over 6 points per game over the last 7 games. She's been on the floor for 25 minutes tonight. As Cassia Sandoval goes to the line for 2 shots after the foul against Quinn. Trinkus comes back in as Lauren Petrie has to go to the bench. Sandoval's first free throw goes in and out. What lies ahead for Manhattanville is a matchup against Old Westbury at home on Saturday. That closes out the regular season on Senior Day. And they'll honor Gwen Merrifield, Niana Smith as the seniors for Manhattanville As for Mount St. Mary, they're on the road against Mount St. Vincent, a team they beat earlier this year, 65-42 at home. Trinkus down the lane, and Maggie Trinkus now has a new career high. That's 21 points for the freshman that doesn't play like a freshman, as Coach Dietz describes her. And she's been playing at a high level for the last 6 years, was a starter on her varsity basketball team when she was just in 8th grade. And she's carried that forward into the Kaplan Center this year. And that championship drive that Coach Dietz talked about, this being championship drive part 2, had a tough go of it in part 1, falling to USMMA and Manhattanville in back-to-back games. It looked like it was going to be a similar story, falling to USMMA on Saturday. Foul is called on the floor against Kathleen O'Mara with 12.4 seconds to go, sending Guglielmo to the line. It's a 71-45 lead for Mount St. Mary. But championship drive part 2 got off to that loss against Merchant Marine in overtime, where Mount St. Mary had the lead late, couldn't find a way to finish strong. Well, today they hit on all 3 check marks for me today. Had leads in the 4th quarter in 3 of their 4 losses in Skyline play. Well, they had a lead from the jump here. They'll go wire to wire and take down Manhattanville as one last shot is off the mark. The buzzer will sound, and Mount St. Mary with a dominant 72-45 win in front of a packed house at the Kaplan Center takes sole possession of 2nd place in the Skyline Conference. And with a win against Mount St. Vincent on Saturday, they will hold the number 2 overall seed in the Skyline tournament, which gives them a bye in the first round and home court advantage in the semifinals if they are to see this same Manhattanville squad that will likely hold the 3 seed heading into the Skyline tournament. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. 4 double-figure scores for Mount St. Mary. Maggie Trinkus leading the way with a career high of 21 and 11 rebounds, her 2nd career double-double. Lauren Petrie, 18 points. Well, that's a new career high for her as well. Kate Hughes had 12. Angelina Donato with 13. A strong day all around for Mount St. Mary as they improve to 15-9 overall, 15-4 in conference play. And the Valiants dropped to 17-6 overall, 14-5 in Skyline play behind 16 points from Esther Ramos. Well, that'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Won't see you until the semifinals of the Skyline tournament, likely as long as Mount St. Mary wins against Mount St. Vincent on Saturday. But that'll do it for tonight's broadcast for our entire production crew. I'm Matt Scalzo signing off from the Kaplan Center. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.